Hi, I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Likes, the show where I talk about movies that I like. And today I'm talking about an underloved Stephen King adaptation, written and directed by the man himself, based on a short story that he also wrote. Today, Johnny likes Maximum Overdrive.
You tell him, Johnny. You tell the world.
All of a sudden, machines develop a mind of their own and start killing folk en masse. And we follow a group of people as they are trapped inside a roadside diner. This movie often gets lumped into the so bad it's good, campy fun category, and that's hard to argue with. It has a silly story, some rough acting, fun action, and a little bit of gore. But that's not actually why I like this movie. I like it because it comes close at times to capturing the indescribable Stephen King book vibe. It's such an elusive tone that even Stephen King couldn't translate his written work onto the screen properly. He does capture the vibe in little moments here and there, and it does feel like a Stephen King story.
Robinson, get in here, boy.
I got eggs on.
But as I was watching it, I was thinking about how if the movie had been about twice as long, it really could have captured that Stephen King book vibe. The one thing that I thought actually held the movie back from actually capturing the vibe was that everything felt rushed. If they were to remake this today, I would want them to take it seriously and allow time for the characters and scenes to breathe and develop. Do you actually want a 3-hour killer truck movie instead of the near 90-minute one that already felt like it was running long? Well, maybe not 3 hours, but a little longer. 15 minutes, say. But why? Okay, so part of what makes Stephen King's books so good is the downtime. The big moments are important, but the little moments during the journey between those big moments are what make a story. What Maximum Overdrive needed was more little moments. It needed to be more of a slow burn instead of an action thrill ride. And the easiest way for that to happen is to just extend the runtime. Linger on some shots longer. Have extended conversations that help to build our characters' personalities. Give the vehicles more individual personalities. Show more backstory. Stuff like that. Wouldn't that make the movie seem slow and boring? Not gonna lie, slow and boring is a very real possibility in the wrong hands. But what if? What if, instead of a sight gag filled action movie, it becomes this weirdly hypnotic passion project thriller about killer machines that was presented without a wink at the audience? That could be pretty great. Alright, I'll play along. What's your first move in turning it into a slow burn? Oh, getting rid of the all AC/DC soundtrack and maybe replace it with something like Tangerine Dream. Check these out and tell me it's not better. Got to admit, it kind of works. Minimal effort and you get a completely new mood. Yeah, mood like the director's not coked out of his mind. What was that? I said I wonder how King got AC/DC to agree to do the soundtrack anyway. I expect he just called him and asked, honestly. That and maybe a literal dump truck full of money, just for songs they already wrote and recorded and got paid for, no less. Yeah, that would probably work on me too. So AC/DC's out, Tangerine Dream is in. What's your next move in turning it into a slow burn? Just make a bunch of scenes longer. Build the machine revolution more. Give side characters longer than they deserve backstories. Build tensions between the characters in the diner for longer. Also, I would cut out the machines going haywire opening. You could fill that entire time introducing our characters and their situations, which would help with keeping the runtime on the reasonable side. You'd also have to make the machine malfunctions more realistic. Sure, they make for fun sight gags in this, but it takes any sort of threat you're trying to convey completely out of it. The audience knows full well a cigarette vending machine doesn't give out change in the same spot as the smokes. That's just not how that works. It's completely unrealistic. I don't know, man. It sounds like you're trying to turn what's rightfully a campy drive-in movie into a classy thriller. Machines with a mind of their own going haywire, it's a little bit far-fetched, no matter how seriously you take it. They're actually controlled by aliens. What now? The machines don't actually have a mind of their own. They're controlled by aliens. It's in the opening and closing crawl of the movie. Did I not mention it in the plot summary? Huh. Well, that doesn't make it any less far-fetched, and it certainly doesn't help your slow burn pitch. I guess the machines could be possessed instead. Does that work better? It's basically the same thing. So let me get this straight. Now you want it to be a movie about possessed vehicles that takes itself seriously and is a slow burn thriller. Pretty much, yeah. It's called Christine. It was a novel also written by Stephen King, made into a movie like 3 years before Maximum Overdrive. It's directed by John Carpenter, also had a synth score by him. Any of this ringing a bell? Are you sure you just didn't want Christine, but with more cars? No, this is completely different because... but Emilio Estevez. Okay, so how about instead of a slow burn thriller, you just make it sexy by adding some gratuitous TNA? It might have worked in the 80s and 90s. If they were to remake it nowadays, that wouldn't work. Now you can see that stuff at any time on the internet. There's no rarity about it. What do you mean, wouldn't work? People still love gratuitous nudity. Do they, though? So you're really doing the whole two-person, but it's one guy playing both parts thing? Dark Johnny, I haven't seen you since what, like 65? Well, maybe if you weren't such a pussy and didn't give every stupid thing you watch a pass, I would get a bit more screen time. Did you really say Chris Bale for the entire Zapped review? That shit's embarrassing. And since editor obviously wasn't doing his job then, and this gimmick has already made it this far, I had to step in and make sure that you both know how dumb you are for even trying this. Oh, he knows. I told him before we started that it was a bad idea. It's true, he did. But have you seen the views on the last couple of vids? I gotta try something different every once in a while. Oh, for real? You spent 14 minutes blowing Phantom Menace? I bet you even cried in that too. Oh, I didn't. Shut up. Were you really surprised it didn't get any views though? I mean, the prequels have and always will suck, no matter how you spin it. Editor, I can't even with this guy right now. Can you please do something? Okay, Dark Johnny, we get it. But as you put it, I have a job to do. And this is the part where I get us back on track and we maybe even finish the review. So I actually do have a lot of love for this movie. I do enjoy it for the cheese factor, and I think it's a fun, never mind how, but what if story. I still find it kind of frustrating though, because I do think there's an honest to God good film in there. It's just that in this iteration, it's only hinted at. I'm going to give Maximum Overdrive 3 out of 5. Those are my thoughts on Maximum Overdrive. Let me know yours in the comments. And I was actually only kind of half joking about wanting this to be a slow burn thriller instead. Do you think that could have worked? I do. Again, make with the comments. So I thought I would do something a little bit different with this review. As much as I feel comfortable doing the standard kind of what I always do, it keeps it fun and interesting for me to switch it up every once in a while. And I hope you guys agree. If you've made it this far into the video, you may as well like and subscribe. It's quick, free, and relatively painless. Plus, it helps me out. Thanks for watching me talk about movies for a little bit, and you can tune in next time to see what else Johnny likes.